Hi, this is Damien Lillis. I work as a counsellor for Shine in the resource centre in Cork City. We support people with mental health challenges, from mild to moderate to more serious mental health challenges throughout the year. And I think with the current threat that we're all experiencing, like I myself am working from home today, and as are a lot of people around the country trying to adjust to the new normal that is the threat of the coronavirus or COVID-19. So I said I'd share, just from literally being in my own self-isolation, psychological and emotional aspects of having to do that. It can be very impactful, and I'm very um, mindful of the fact that people are out there with pre-existing mental health challenges or have experiences of diagnoses like schizophrenia or bipolar or depression, and the experience of self-isolating and social distancing can bring up a lot of challenges for people to kind of get through that. And I think it's really important that people are self-supporting in that isolation. And what I mean by self-supporting is that people are interacting positively with themselves, linking in and checking in with family and friends. And if there aren't that many supports in your life, that internally being supportive of yourself through positive self-talk, engaging with yourself in positive ways, maybe pursuing your own interests, and just engaging with your life in ways that we're not just necessarily getting preoccupied with the coronavirus, even though it's hard not to, and kind of contextualizing it and maybe compartmentalizing it a little bit to protect your own mental health and feelings of safety, because it is the new normal, and it's kind of in the short term to medium term becoming how our lives are being shaped. So it's influence on how quite a powerful influence on how we have to engage with the world, and changes the way we have to. And we all adjust to that in different ways, and we all having to engage with life in a new way. We might resist that a little bit, or struggle to adapt to that. And I think the key thing is, when our environment feels threatening, excuse me, or unsafe, that we internally have to feel safe, psychologically and emotionally. And there are practical ways to do that. I think because there's a threat going on around the virus, we're going to feel more fear, anxiety, our fluctuating moods. Our moods might go up and down. We might feel okay 1 minute and not feel okay in an hour's time, and frustration levels rise or intensify, and distress can intensify. And so our support of ourselves is vital. People talk about befriending ourselves, and I think in the short term that's a vital response to what we're feeling and what we're going through. In a way, we have to be really like a supportive parent to ourselves, really, and be encouraging and seek distractions, or seek to do things like creativity, or interact with friends online if that's available to you, or pick up the phone if things get a little bit overwhelming. And also the counselling service and Shine supports are available for people to pick up the phone if it's posing significant challenges to your mental health. So I think reaching out is important, linking in with people, and but also, because it can feel like we're down in the bunker and in isolated living, trying to kind of shape what that experience is going to be like. It can feel isolating, or it could feel dark or depressing, or can it feel creative and it's purposeful what we're doing. Like, self-isolating has meaning. You're trying to protect the elderly, you're trying to protect people that have pre-existing conditions that might be impacted by COVID-19 in particular ways. So your isolating of yourself is actually a purposeful, conscientious thing to be doing. And I think it's important to see the positive biases in what we're trying to do on a global level, really, at this stage. That we're trying to support each other and that we're all in it together in an isolated, separate way, but it's literally the global experience right now. Everyone's having pretty much similar experiences. And I was listening to a clinical psychologist on The Tonight Show last night, and he made a good point around self-isolation isn't self-confinement. So you can still go out and about, just keeping your distance from people, a safe distance, and go for your walks or try to be flexible with the experiences that you're having, and try and get out there for walks or go to new walks you haven't gone before, or vary them a little bit, or just safely keep some social distancing from others. But also to normalize that we have a bigger range of emotional responses. We're going to be more frustrated. We might be paranoid around catching the virus. We might have additional fear and anxiety. And I think we really have to acknowledge, well, that's the truth of the situation. So they're legitimate feelings that you're going to be feeling them. And I'm just kind of sharing some thoughts, and this might go up on LinkedIn or social media. And you might have some comments you want to pass on this yourself in the ways that you're coping, or the relationship you're having with yourself while all this is going on. But I think internal safety can regulate our mood by being supportive, being calming towards yourself, reassuring yourself, knowing that what you're trying to do in self-isolation and social distancing is actually a purposeful societal reaction to what's going on. So there is meaning in that, and I think being conscientious and doing your part to reduce the spread of COVID-19 has a meaningful, purposeful element to itself. So I think what we tend to emphasize in this situation, particularly in a crisis and a pandemic like what's going on, is to have meaningful responses to it. Think of the ways you can support people, interact with people, lift people's spirits, and also maybe it's an opportunity in the short and medium term, thinking about, well, the direction of your own life, looking at things you're interested in yourself, the direction your life can take post pandemic. And so there's a reflective space that's happening as well with this enforced, if you want to call it in some ways, a self-confrontation, where we have to be with ourselves, experience ourselves, be with our own minds and what's happening internally. So there's an intimacy in it in a way, because you're being with yourself and seeing how you're coping and managing. So I think it's really important to see it as an opportunity as well, that you have time on your hands to be maybe productive, focus on projects, think about other things you want to do in your life, the direction your life is taking space to reflect on that, and generally trying to frame it in a way that can make situations that we don't have that much control over, trying to still have flexibility in it for ourselves. Whether it's creative pursuits, whether it's knowledge pursuits, whether it's life goals, whether it's planning. So we can shape our mind to use the space and isolation we find ourselves in productive ways. So we have the links below for contacting members of staff in Shine if you want to engage with people and speak about how you're coping and ways to cope. The counsellors are available in Shine. There's information officers available in Shine. And so reach out. I mean, because people are working remotely and working from home doesn't mean they're not accessible. And I certainly, as a counsellor in Shine, encourage you to have those conversations, pick up the phone, contact by email or phone numbers provided, and speak about how you're coping to the new normal we all find ourselves in. So I've been Damien Lillis, and I'm a psychotherapist / counsellor in Shine. And feel free to comment below on any other ideas you might have yourselves about the ways in which you cope in this unprecedented situation. Okay, thanks. And bye for now. Take care.